So, is Blue Apron the best meal kit delivery service? Well, in this review, I'm going to share my experience cooking meals using their kits, and I'll tell you all about what they offer, how much their meals cost, what they're like to prepare, and the most important thing, how do they actually taste? Now, I know you're here because you're probably wondering if a meal kit service is worth the price. For me, I work from home, but we have small kids, and between work and kids and just life, we never seem to find the time to plan meals ahead or get to the grocery store to buy groceries, which I always have to do. And when we do grocery shopping, we sometimes buy different foods and ingredients that we think we're gonna wanna make, but we definitely don't always get around to actually using them in time, and they sometimes end up spoiling in the fridge, which is really wasteful. And my wife and I really hate being wasteful. And when I have everything that I need, I love cooking, and I really enjoy trying new recipes. But I need to have a plan and have all the ingredients lined up for it not to get stressful or turn out badly, as it so often does. So getting my food delivered with really easy instructions and tips on how to make pre-made recipes sort of brings out the chef in me and takes all the stress out of eating well and cooking for me. So before we get too far, as with any of my meal kit reviews, I want you to know that I am not sponsored by Blue Apron or anything like that. This is my honest review of their meal kits after using them for, well, it's been almost 2 months now, and I think I'll probably go back for more. And as with any of my reviews, if you decide that you want to give Blue Apron a try, use the link that's down in the description because you'll get a bit of a discount that's not available if you go straight to their website. Alright, so let's get into it. So when I was originally exploring their website, I learned about how Blue Apron started shipping ingredients and recipes from a kitchen in Long Island back in 2012 and grew like crazy until they actually went public in 2017, which really impressed me. They have fulfillment centers across America and are able to deliver to customers in all 48 contiguous United States. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Blue Apron offers 80 recipes in 2-serving meal kits each week, and they recently added 1 serving of prepared fresh meals to the mix. They offer 10 different broad meal categories like carb conscious for those who want to lose some fat, 30 plus grams of protein for those who want to pack on a bit of muscle, ready to cook for those who value convenience and maybe don't want to prepare meals at all, premium for people maybe hosting a dinner party or something else where they want to really impress, a wellness plan, a vegetarian plan, and a family-friendly plan, not to mention desserts and breakfasts as well. And they really try to put the emphasis on good, high-quality ingredients and only use sustainable seafood and meat that's free of hormones and antibiotics. They source their ingredients from a network of family-run farms, ranches, and fisheries, and they prioritize partnerships with suppliers who demonstrate sustainability, including sourcing seasonal produce, responsibly farmed seafood, and, like I mentioned, hormone-free meats. Actually, according to their website, their commitment to high-quality, fresh ingredients is one of the core aspects of their business model. They say that they want to ensure that the ingredients in their meal kits are not only tasty, but also ethically and sustainably sourced. So what is it actually like to cook some of Blue Apron's recipes? Well, preparing them is generally easy, and you don't need to be a chef or anything like that to be able to follow the recipes. Most of the meals take between 25 and 35 minutes to prepare, and their oven-ready options are even quicker than that. All you have to do is combine the ingredients and pop them right in the oven. And if you really want to test your culinary skills, there are some more complicated dishes that can take up to 45 minutes, but are still manageable for home cooks who don't have much experience in the kitchen. And I don't know about you, but I really don't like microwaving food, so I was really impressed that all of their meals are designed for stove or oven cooking. Actually, what I liked most was how Blue Apron made me stretch my culinary prowess. I prepared and cooked things that I'd only ever had in a restaurant, like duck à l'orange. I would never even have dreamed of cooking this, but I decided to try it out last week and the results were, if I can say so myself, spectacular. But don't be too impressed with me. The step-by-step recipe was really easy to follow along with, and I did manage to impress my wife, so that was really cool. Plus, it was really absolutely delicious. Even the Brussels sprouts that came with it were also good. Now, some of their meals are marked ready to cook, and I especially love those because there isn't any prep involved. Some, like the gnocchi mac and cheese, come with a reusable foil baking dish, which all you have to do is throw all the ingredients in, mix them all together, throw in the oven, and bake it, and you have your meal. And a lot of their meals come with different options like the chimichurri salmon, which is a meal in their wellness category that came with barley, peppers, and tomatoes, so it was nutritious as well as tasty. But when I was ordering, I noticed that the salmon was described as sustainably sourced, and I guess that means farmed because I prefer wild salmon and I love beef. I was able to swap out the salmon for beef flank steaks, which was really cool. I like that they let you switch it. So on the whole, I've been really impressed with the quality of ingredients and how nicely designed the recipe cards are. They give you step-by-step instructions. There's a lot of room for you to improvise and add your own tweaks and touches to the recipes if you want to. And just to reiterate, if you want to save a bit more money, like I mentioned before, if you decide to try Blue Apron out, there's a link below in the description that'll give you a bit of a discount that if you use it, you won't get if you go directly to their website. So feel free to use it while it lasts. Okay, so in terms of finding out how much they cost, once you go to their website, you first choose your preferences, and you can choose one or all 5 of the options like family friendly or chef favorites, and then you decide if you want 2 or 4 servings per meal. And finally, how many days you want meals for, from 2 to up to 5 per week. I chose portions of 2 servings for 5 days, which came out to $106, which works out to just under about $10 a meal, with another $11 for shipping all the meals to me. Actually, for my first week, I got a discount of 65% and free shipping, so that was a great way to try them out for less than about $40. And like I said before, they do also offer fresh, pre-made meals that are delivered completely prepared, chilled but not frozen, and can be ready to eat in a few minutes. These are single servings, and here you can also choose a category like 600 calories or less, carb conscious, or meals with more than 30 grams of protein. And of course, these meals cost a bit more, working out to about $13 a meal if you get 8 portions, with another $11 for shipping, like I mentioned. Blue Apron also sells gift cards, and they offer a special discount for students, seniors, teachers, healthcare workers, veterans, or people currently in the military. And if you want to try out their food before you have to commit to a weekly subscription, they have a market section where you can get packages of meal kits starting at just about $60 for 2 servings each of 2 recipes with free shipping. And like all meal kit delivery services, the packaging used is a concern for those of us who care about the environment, and there are lots of small containers and stuff that you'd end up throwing away. But I've been pretty impressed that they keep packaging to a minimum, with up to 85% of it recyclable. And like I mentioned above, they specifically partner with farms that limit agricultural chemicals and promote soil health. And if you follow this channel, you'll know that I've reviewed quite a few meal kit delivery services. So how does Blue Apron stack up? Well, most Blue Apron meals are healthy and have a lot of lean proteins, veggies, and grains. But what I really think sets them apart are what they call their global flavors, which are sort of, I guess, flavors from all over the world, with what is on my and my family's palate, interesting spices and more unusual ingredients. In terms of comparing pricing, HelloFresh is also just under $10 a meal if you go for 5 meals each for 2 people, so they more or less tie for cost. But Blue Apron has more options to customize meals. They let you choose which cut of beef you want, or to swap a fish for a steak, like I mentioned, things like that. And when it comes to their website, I also think that Blue Apron's pictures of their meals are a lot more appealing than those on HelloFresh. But HelloFresh does offer more choices when it comes to fish and vegetable dishes, so they actually might be better for vegetarians or pescatarians. But for me, I am a devoutly committed carnivore, so I love the protein choices that Blue Apron had to offer. When it comes to pricing at Home Chef, meals start at around $10 per serving for 5 days of 2 servings, with shipping at $11, so it's priced more or less the same as Blue Apron. But they do have a lot of extra options with over 30 meals to choose from each week, while you can only choose from around a dozen or so with Blue Apron. But the thing is, when it comes to sophistication and restaurant-style meals, Blue Apron's definitely the better option. So if you want quicker, easier, and really convenient meals, you might prefer Home Chef, but for really easy recipes that'll definitely sort of elevate your cooking skills and taste great, Blue Apron is probably the way to go. So do I recommend Blue Apron? If you search the internet for meal kits, one of the first names that comes up is Blue Apron. And so far, I've enjoyed choosing my weekly meal kits and then cooking and eating their meals. I can see that their ingredients are definitely carefully sourced, and the recipes look chefy, but the meals are actually tasty and pretty easy to prepare without being unhealthy. So for me, the added convenience of having everything you need to make dinner for the week and stretching my culinary repertoire at the same time made them worth the cost. But mostly, I cannot stress this enough, I really appreciate getting out of doing grocery shopping. And at the end of the day, we aren't wasting so much food anymore, plus the meals come out looking almost as good as they do in the pictures. So yes, I do think they deserve their reputation as one of the best meal kit delivery services in 2024. Well, that about wraps up this video. I hope you'll like the video or subscribe to the channel if you found this review interesting or helpful. And again, if you want to try Blue Apron out for yourself, there's a link that I mentioned in the description below that'll give you that discount that I mentioned that isn't available if you go straight to their website. Also, feel free to leave any questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to try and answer them as quickly as I can. And finally, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.